welcome to the Lead Gen Underground Live. I am happy to have my good buddy, Vic Thompson. He is a member of Investor Fuel, just like I am, and I think Stinson's here as well. Why don't you give a quick intro, buddy, so everyone knows you? Because like I said, everyone's gonna know you, so they might as well know you now.
Yeah, man. Thanks for the hype up on the preliminary shout out there. Appreciate it. Yeah, I got a crush on Josh and the wife there. Investor Fuel with us. We're out here primarily doing business in Georgia and South Carolina. I have.
Dude, hold on.
We lost him.
I just muted you or something, or you just muted yourself. Hold on, dog.
I thought we were buddies, but sometimes Josh mutes me.
There you go.
Yeah, we're out here in North Georgia, North South Carolina. I don't know what exactly you want us to get into. You know, we do about 6-7 deals a month. We're trying to push up to 10. I lead the acquisition effort for our team. I have two other partners, Travis and Sam, and we have some other partners that we work very closely with in our markets to help us grow, man. And me and Josh jump on the phone here and there to try to get, when we're stuck with sellers, just kind of battle buddies to get those contracts. So the goal is 1 a week right now. That's my primary goal.
Oh, come on, man. I know you can push it up past 1 a week.
Well, I'm going to show you 1 a week consistently, but yeah.
Good.
The goal is really to be doing 2, 3, 4, you know?
Dude, I like it. Okay. So obviously you guys are doing some cold calling for your lead generation marketing channels. I'm getting some weird feedback.
Yeah. What was the question, Josh?
You guys are certainly doing a lot of cold calling for talk about a little bit about that kind of thing.
Yeah, look, here's our strategy when it comes to marketing. I know a lot of people, they kind of pick one thing and they really deep at it. That's not really our style. We have a lot of manpower, I'll argue, with having multiple partners, and we found some other partners that we can contract out in VA. So we throw a lot of stuff at the wall and see what happens. So I think just from where we're coming from is, we were having a lot of success with text. That was kind of our primary channel that we were doing. Now we've kind of switched to cold call because we've now figured out, hey, how can we get VAs at $6 an hour, just in there humping and get that sorted out. So we find a lot of movement going that way. So maybe it ends up being cold call being primary with text being more supplemental. But we also are having some success with Facebook leads. We got some driving for dollars going on. We got some local college students doing some D for D. And we want to start doing a little more direct mail. So, we have bodies. We throw stuff on the wall, see what sticks. And when it works, we double down on those.
Dude, I love that. Like flexing in on me. Just the sheer hustle, man. I love that style. There you go.
Flexing going on over here.
There you go, man. And you know what? We're kind of on your company and my company are kind of on the same wavelength at the moment because like I talked about the last fuel, we skip trace roughly like 80,000 people in the past like 6 to 7 months. And when we really dug deep, we found that we had only connected. We were using SMS as a primary channel. And we found out that we had only actually connected with about 6 to 7% of that overall list. And meanwhile, we're trying to skip lists faster and faster and faster so we can keep up with our SMS specialists. We left off 92, 93, 94% of our actual list. And so that's why we jump back into cold calling again, which we had done for a long time, proving pretty fruitful for us right now. How about you guys?
Yeah, same. I think we had those aspirations in the third, fourth quarter, but like you said, our businesses are very similar, kind of where we're at in our growth stage. We just couldn't get there, to be honest. We didn't have the bodies, we didn't have the capacity, we weren't set up for that. And then on top of that, when we were skipping, we also noticed how many landlines are actually in there. So it's not, hey, when you get a list, you want to make sure that you get all the fruit off that, and it's not just through text. It could be through landlines, etc. So similar boat there. I think where now the struggle is, if I could speak to cold calling a little bit, is we had Mojo Dialer and we weren't getting the contact rate that we wanted. Yep. So we're like, man, obviously what's wrong with it? So we saw you guys in Nashville. We go, Zen Dialer's better. So we go, okay, this happens in Fuel, right? Which does have better features. I think the latest news, Josh, that I want to share with everyone is And we were using call motivated sellers. And I think we got to the root cause. We had like about a 4% contract rate. And just to set that up, because I know everyone likes the numbers, here's our targets. So we'd like to have a contact rate of about 5 to 7%, and then have a conversion rate about 15%. So if I mark out the numbers for the numbers folks, if we were making 400 or 4,500 dials, that'd be 225 leads, and then 32 or 225, and then down to 32 on the conversion to leads. So those are the numbers. And what's crazy is we thought it was in the dialer or whatever, but I think it's actually with the VA. So the VA's internet connection was shit.
Yeah.
So that's where we're now pushing to this new strategy, which I'll share with everyone is, I think it's going to be really tough to have that kind of call center production if it's outsourced, if it's not in-house. So that's why we have our boy Ethan Taylor, who you're going to see a lot more of us working with him now, saying, hey, go find the right VA that can get us that contact rate, so then we can get to that conversion rate. So that's been our maturation. I just want to share that because those are the little nitty gritty. I don't know if you call them nuggets, but those are the things that are not televised, where I think a lot of people can get hung up.
Absolutely. Hold on. You just did a whole lot. Let me unpack a little bit. You were talking about using Mojo and then switching over to Zen. That's something that we have done. And just to let you guys know, Zen is pretty expensive in itself. It is pretty complicated right off the bat. I had no idea how to navigate it, and I knew every feature inside Mojo. So I too have seen a significant increase in connection rates when we've jumped from Mojo over to ZenCall. The second thing is you're talking about the connection speed from your VA. Yeah, that is something that I haven't even talked about a whole lot either, but something that we definitely found was person specific, right? Before 8 months ago, we had never considered that. But it's something that we took into consideration. Because the Philippines, they're getting some low connections. Sometimes don't want to let that impact them.
Yes, couldn't agree more. The other thing that I'll say too is, look, I know Josh, our whole goal is, we're not that great individually. We're kind of the Captain Planet approach. That's what makes our business and our team great, right? Our powers combined. If you guys don't know about Captain Planet, go check out those cartoons. But with our buddy Ethan coming online, and basically we want him running the show, hiring and firing the VAs, and running the call center, he's the best at that too. He's a real integrator, right? He can really get in Zen Call, which has a lot of functionality, but the guy gets in there and he's a beast. In 72 hours, he knows it in and out, and saying, hey man, here's all the things that don't work and what are pissing me off. So I also want to stress of when you think about, I'm going to do this, you got to have the right people in there. And I can testify I'm not the right guy for all the jobs in the business. Yeah. So make sure that you're being honest about that. And when you find someone that is, be okay with, giving them a lot of room and autonomy there.
Yeah. Let's dive in. We're about way through the call. Are you hearing the feedback that I am on my end?
I get a little bit of feedback, man.
All right. I just wanted to make sure. So let's dive in real quick to something that I like talking about, and that's prospecting versus qualification. So talk a little bit about how you guys are prospecting. It sounds like that was the VA before. And when does that transition? So when you find out it's a lead, when does that hit your desk or whoever, Sam's desk or whoever is responsible? When do they actually know about it? And what's the process when you start to qualify, including granular? What are the questions they ask? Because I'll let you know I got 5 questions that I ask on the qualifying side, and I can basically tell the motivation within those 5 questions.
Yeah, so let me just set up kind of what our processes are of what are the gates, and then if you want to jump in and say the exact questions you use, maybe that's a good back and forth, Josh. We have on our tech side, we have a VA that our partner Hunter has been training to get her. The more capable she is, the better we are. So she's out there hitting all the techs, the hard prospecting. They say, hey, are you interested in selling? And then it gets to a certain point, and we can go through the questions. I'll let you shine on that. But it comes into our CRM. At that point, when it hits, the CRM officially, then someone in acquisitions will take that over and start to pepper with the questions. On the flip side of that, So that's how we do it in general. We have VAs or lead type managers working that, and it doesn't come to us until it's been fully prospected, and then it comes to us for further qualification.
Got it. Okay. I'd be interested in getting a little more granular there, but in our business, for the sake of time, when we find out it's a lead, the guy is cold calling for us right now. We'll ask 3 or 4 questions, just kind of when they want to sell, why they want to sell, and what condition it's in. So when I call back, the questions that I usually answer are for the 4 pillars of motivation. And that for us is timeline, the reason, their financial position, and then condition of the house. If I know those 4 things right there, I know exactly where they're at. And because that lead came through our system, technically it should be inside of our buy box, something that we actually want to purchase or something that we actually want to spend our time on.
Yeah. Yep.
So
one thing,
go ahead, buddy. Sorry.
I was going to add, Josh, on those 4 pillars, slice them what you want, but ours are motivation, condition, timeline, and price. And I just want to say something on motivation, and when you say, hey, why are you interested in selling your property? Whatever they say, don't keep going on that. Oh, I want to sell because I'm tired of being a landlord. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Really go in on that. And I think for the better sales reps, that you're going to spend an inordinate amount of time on that motivation and make sure you get the other things. But when it comes to qualifying, because if you're going to go on an appointment, you want to have that thing scrubbed really good, because it's going to be time and gas unless you're buying without going on appointments. So just really, really, really harp on that motivation, because that's the key
100.
emotional piece that you need to keep returning to before you even get to a price or closing the deal.
100%. And that's something that I know I've personally improved on the past year or so, and it's made a tremendous jump in our overall growth. I used to go on appointments and really not even know what they wanted for it, right? And that's crazy in hindsight. Now it's one of the first 3 questions that I ask, and just because of how I ask it. Guys, I want to play for you really quick. I was telling Vic about this. I had maybe the easiest lay down deal I've ever had in my whole life earlier today. And I just want to play the first 60 seconds for you. Here it is. Vic, give me a thumbs up if it starts to play. Ready?
Yeah.
Can you hear it?
I can hear it.
Hello.
Hello, Miss Christina?
Yes?
Hi, it's Josh. You were speaking with my teammate Ashley before. How you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, thanks. You having a good day?
So far.
Good. I like it. Ashley told me to reach out to you about your house, and you were thinking about selling or selling it. Kind of tell me where you're at in that process.
Well, I would love to just give it away, okay? I don't want the house. I've never wanted the house. I just want the house gone, okay? The problem is there's a lien on it for $38,000 that I cannot pay.
Got it. What kind of lien is it?
A tax lien.
First 60 seconds right there. And I only, there was really nothing that I did. I asked the questions in a good order, but other than that, it was our systems and processes that caught that one. And Ashley sent me a message this morning saying, call this lady after 12, really, really high motivation. She's already signed the contract maybe an hour after that conversation. So just a testament to qualifying and getting the right leads to where you're actually putting your eyes on them. Because if it's a false signal and your VA is sending you over everything and says lead, 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 and you're having to spend your time on all those, you're going to miss ones like these, right? These don't come through that much, but when they do, you got to get them. That's low-hanging fruit right there, baby.
Yeah, that's a cherry right there. That could be an easy one.
There you go. Vic, tell me a little bit about what kind of things that you've learned in the past maybe 3 months or so that have made a big jump in your personal growth or the way that you directly interact and get deals. So I want to get granular on some sort of, maybe it's a philosophy that you have, maybe it's a question, maybe it's the way you look at someone and shake hands. I don't know, but what do you got that's really made you jump in the past 3 months or so?
Yeah, I think I think in general it's a mindset shift. There's 2 things. The mindset shift is I'm going for the no. I'm not set up every day trying to get yeses, because I'll be honest, man, that's defeating, and it hurts when you're doing acquisitions and you're just hearing no all day, but you're trying to get yes. So if you switch it and say, man, if I can get 100 no's today, it allows you that much more capacity to go after it. And it's a numbers game, so the yes is coming. And the second part of that is just trying to be more of myself. I'm similar to you, Josh. I'm a pretty gregarious, charismatic guy. So I try to be that on the phone. I don't, hi, this is Victor at Runway. I'm just like, hey, Josh, what's going on? How can I help you? And I think those two mindset and attitude shifts has definitely paid off as far as my interaction with the seller. And the other piece that I'll just add on there is, yeah, rapport building is important, but it's, more about that consistency and kind of showing up and sticking to hashtag John Martinez training, going through the process, right? And doing that. So those would be my kind of big things that have really changed, I'll say, the beginning of this year as I've, kind of just taken the lead in the acquisition part of our team.
I like it. I like it a lot. So I want to drop one thing we heard in the beginning of the call. That's been my just small thing. My second line is I assume that's the person. I say like, hello, Christina, like question, like Christina, hello. And she says, yeah. And then I say, hey, how you doing? Introduce myself. But I say, are you having a good day? And she stopped and she laughed and she said, ha ha ha. Yeah, I am actually. And so I tell my guys on the phone that when someone's calling, when you're calling, right, and that person picks up, what are they on guard for? They're on guard for salesmen. Why? Because they're scared. Just like John Martinez says, they're scared that somehow you're going to reach through the phone and grab the deed to their house and they're going to be scammed out of it, right? So when you call, their sales guard is right up to here. And so for me, what I want to do is make sure I step squarely out of that salesman box. So I'm saying something very short and easy that no other salesman says. Are you having a good day? It's one thing to say, how are you, blah, blah, but are you having a good day? And it goes,
yes. So, yeah, one other thing about on that note is I'm not with the seller in their house, but if I hear things like a dog bark, I was like, oh, you have a dog, or someone talking, I'm like, oh, who else is there? And I just got off the phone today, and I don't even know how we stumbled upon. I was calling back to figure out when we were gonna follow up to do the appointment, and then something about like Friday the 13th, and I was like, oh, my birthday's on 13th. She's like, oh, my birthday's too. So I just put a little note. Her birthday's tomorrow, and I'm just gonna send her a little, hey, I wanted you to hear, I know we just met, but happy birthday, because I go back to, I think about all the deals we've done, and the best ones have been where it's like, the seller wants to sell to a buyer that they like, and you want to buy from sellers you like, and there really is an opportunity there. So I think that, and you're doing it every day, you might as well have fun doing it. So make it fun.
100%, man. I love that you say that yourself on the phone, because I very much found myself to do that as well, and it really loosens up. I know some of you guys out there have definite cold calling experience, and there's probably some of you on the line that are better than both of us. And there's probably some of you that are starting out and just trying to either build that confidence to pick up the call, and call consistently, or call someone that tough lead. Maybe it's a one-off lead that you got that's been sitting in your CRM and you don't want to call them for whatever reason. We all have those, right? So Vic, talk a little bit about just, you're talking about how you're yourself, and I love that. Talk a little bit more about maybe how you go for the no, or like the screening question, right? Because I love that John Martinez teaches, give them permission to say no. Put it out there. And sometimes it might look like, well, we don't buy from every house we see, but what do you do to pull at that no and give them permission to say no on the phone? I don't know if it's Vic or if it's me.
Did I lose you, Josh? Are you still there? Okay, you just chopped up. I'm saying, like, after I go through kind of the introduction and what, how long this is going to take and the agenda, I highlight that, hey, no matter, here's the potential next steps. But if you decide that it's not a good fit or you don't want to take the next steps, it's totally okay. So I know off the bat. Some other things that I do is try to like walk them towards me. So I always talking about why, when I get them on the phone, it's one, talking about your kind of situation and then the condition of the property. And I always ask off the gate, why are you not listing with an agent? And I stay there for a while. And I feel like that is just as that's my kind of initial way to get to like, okay, so you're not going to use a realtor for these reasons. Here's why then we should talk. I know you have some really good ones too. What do you use after that?
So yeah, a lot of times, my favorite one up front, I'll just always ask them, like, they'll say, you know, a lot of people love to pound their chest and say, my agent says this, my agent told me it's worth this much. And I love to say something like, well, it sounds like you already got a great agent and your house is nice, so why the heck am I even here? Yeah. And then they're like, wait, hold on, hit the brakes. And so I like doing that one right off the bat. And then the end, I totally like saying, you know, whether we happen, I'm not even sure if my partner, so when I line up on price, I'll line up on price and get into a small range with them. And then I'll say, you know what, it sounds like a really nice house, but I'm not even sure if my partner will be interested in this house. I'm really surprised sometimes by what she likes and what she doesn't like. But if she thinks it's a deal and we can work at this price, I'll give you a call back. If my price happens to be lower than that, should I even bother calling you back? And that's one that I really like. So people are like, yeah, like, you know, and that makes it okay for you to give them a lower number or your real number. You know, it gives them, you're asking their permission. They're saying, yes, call me back with a lower price.
Yeah, I have two more that I think are worthy of sharing. There's this other investor I know, his name rhymes with Josh Hines. And he was telling me I had a situation where it was just kind of too easy. Everything was through text. I got him on the phone. It was just going way too good. And I don't know about you guys. I posted a little bit on social media about this, is making sure that when I send that DocuSign, they're ready to sign. So I would say, hey, if I send this over, you know, is there any reason why you guys wouldn't move forward? And that's where I go for the no there too. And if they do want one, I send a blank one now. I don't actually send one filled out because I don't get that shot. And then there's another one. We'll highlight this at our meetup next week that our boy Ethan, he just got one locked under contract. And, you know, he'll be with the seller and he'll like literally just like, I don't know if this is a house for me. And like start walking away. And he's had people like, wait, you know, come back. So, you know, I think we're just getting going on there. I can't wait to have about more up my sleeve, but you know, still definitely learning. I know there's some people on the phone that have probably got us beat.
Yeah, definitely. Hey guys, we have just a few minutes left. So if you have questions, please drop them in the comments, or I'm sorry, drop them into the chat. I'd love to answer whatever you got. Vic would as well. Vic, give me one thing that might be a challenge to you, or you're trying to figure it out right now, because you can't be that good looking and perfect all the time. So what do you got that's challenging you in your business, specific to either cold calling or whatever on the phone? What do you got that's a challenge?
Yeah, I think the challenge is being consistent, to be honest. You know, even from a marketing standpoint, I know that was kind of like counter the message last week with Josh. But, you know, trying to be consistent, block it out, line up your stuff, and then, you know, not, you know, just trying to stay cool throughout the day. It's kind of the same. You know, it can be very similar, but just try to keep that. Like I said earlier, my mentality is right, but if you recorded all your calls and like go back through and listen and call rail or whatever, it's like, was I really my bubbly self the whole time? Because like what needs to be said is kind of like, once you know that, that's what it is. Now it's just kind of like managing my energy, which I don't know if that's a cop-out answer, but I'd be curious what other people are on the line like. How are you maintaining that energy throughout the day? I would say right now would be the biggest challenge, because I'm learning so much. It's exciting, so I'm not getting bored about it. It's just, you know, maintaining.
Yeah, okay. That's very good. The biggest challenge for me was really like really being consistent across all of my processes. So not consistently calling, because to be honest, being a beast on the phone, when I mean a beast, I mean just putting in the sheer fucking hustle of putting in 80, 100 calls a day. That's been my superpower for the last 4 years. That's the only reason I'm still sitting here, is because I can pick up the phone and dial, and I know other people can't or won't, right? So that's been mine, and really sticking and being consistent across calling people that I need to make offers on. You weirdo, winking at me. Making offers, following up on offers, and really like this board up here, my whiteboard. So I put into buckets like this one right here on the left. These are people I need to make offers on that are really strong. And then here are people I've made offers on this week. And then here are offers that I know I need to nurture. And then now I'm even tracking lost and ghost offers down here, as well as potential revenue right over here. So that part of the consistency has been a big jump for me in the past 3 months, 4 months. Vic,
Yeah.
we got a short amount of time left. People want to know about the follow-up that you're using. I knew Dylan was going to say something about hair product. Just got a haircut today for you, buddy.
Happy haircut day, by the way.
There he is.
Hey, there he is. I'm sorry, John, what was the question on follow-up?
Yeah, talk about your follow-up. Casey said, can you dive into follow-up systems and processes in place? Mine are a little more automated. I don't know if you're playing with any automation now or not, but can you talk about your follow-up maybe in the 30-day to 60-day range after a new lead comes in?
Yeah, so our follow-up actually could be better, I'll be honest. We're not fully automated beast mode is where we're trying to work towards, but that's where we're at. I would say right now, it's good because in launch control, there's a feature in there to put in a drip campaign, and then once it gets to us at a certain level, it's built in automated reminders, but it's not actually to the level of automation once it's qualified, where it's like I gotta call Dylan, in 7 or 10 days or whatever. So we're not quite there. I'd say we're about middle of the road on follow-up, but it's a great question because you're going to hear it from everybody. I know Josh had that wonderful deal today, but it's not always like that. And you're going to need 7-10 touches on that. So I think there's a lot of tools out there. What I see on the horizon is us getting into as much automation in beast mode as we can, just not there as of what is ever today, 26 February.
Dude, let me help you set that up. It's easy. It's light work. It really is. It's not hard. All right, but just talk about, just for 30 seconds, talk about your follow-up process. So I know it's not automated, but talk about how often you call someone back. If they don't pick up after a certain number of calls, you do this. If they don't do this, then you do this. Talk about that.
Yeah, so whatever we get. So the thing that's worked the best for the person on follow-up is I know people know it's me calling them back, and I like to call them back. And what I do call rails, we have multiple numbers. So I hit them with the triplicate call, and I'll call them from all three. So if my number doesn't work and I use Sam's number, then I use Travis's number. I usually get them on the third call. If I don't get them by that, I'll leave a voicemail, and then I'll send a text and an email. And I usually do that it depends on the case. Sometimes it depends on how hot the lead is, Josh, how quick I'm following up. Some of those are every day. Some are every 3, some are, a month.
Got it. Dude,
and then in launch control, we have the drip is automatic. So the message and the time that goes out, that's all automated. The follow-up that's a little more challenging is once we've qualified and we're kind of, in the sales cycle with the seller. But I'd be open to hearing what you do as well.
So what I tell my guys to do, automation aside, what I tell my guys to do is when a new lead comes in that day, they need to go in and set the follow-up, of course. And we really, in Podio, we're driven a lot by the next follow-up date. So we always make sure that's changed. New lead, I want them to be called 3 times the first day, 2 times the second day, 1 time the third day through 7th day. And we're not leaving any voicemails right off the bat because my automation follow-up leaves those voicemails. So that's the basic format of what we like to do. Does it happen 100% of the time? Hell no. But that's what we shoot for. Here's one tip that came to mind when you said triple dialing. Guys, if someone is ghosting you on the phone, you want to check and make sure your phone number is not blocked. If it goes to voicemail every time, it's blocked, right? So call from a new number. But if it's a hot lead and they won't pick up the phone, grow a pair and double dial them from the same number. Call them, hang up, call them back, hang up again, and call them one more time and leave a voicemail. But if you're calling someone 2 or 3 times in a row, they're going to pick up more times than they don't. I know it's worked for me. You do that as well, right?
Yes. Oh, that's what I'm saying. And especially if I've talked to them and I know it on purpose all the time, but I'm like, hey man, I can't answer. But if someone calls me a couple times, then it's like, okay, this must be important. So it's nothing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You are not good. It's just when you're calling, asking for something, it's just a little more of a hill to get over.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, dude, we have 1 minute left. Talk about where people can find you on social, where they can connect with you, anything like that, where you want them to go to check you guys out, anything like that.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity there. Yeah, we're trying to do a lot more on the branding side, and Sam's been leading us to zero gravity REI, and that's going to be mainly focused at how can we help other investors. There's huge opportunities out here. We want to connect with you. We've been helped. We want to help. So follow us on the gram. You can follow me personally at Vic Thompson REI on the gram. You got Sam Thurman REI on the gram. You have Travis Oglesby REI on the gram. So you're gonna see a lot more of us putting out content. I can see Dylan shaking their head. Hey, you got some videos of me. I need you to send them so I can put them out.
I know. I'm working on it.
DM, hit us up, man. We love this stuff. We want to talk more about it. We want to do more deals together, looking to JV, however we can help. So please reach out.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, I dropped him that link last night so he can send us some of those videos.
Yeah.
What's up, man? How you doing? How's your week?
You talking to me?
Yeah, what's up, dude?
Am I unmuted? I'm good. I'm just looking.
Snow.
Oh man, yeah.
Not for me.
Nope.
Not for me.
Yeah. Pass.
All right, guys, we are at 4:31. Thank you guys so much for coming today. Post whatever you want in the group. And what I'd love to do is hop on a second call per week, diving into any sort of implementation or setup as it pertains to lead gen. So if it's cold calling, if it's SMS, if it's RVM, any of those things that I know, I'd love to help. And if I don't know, I'd love to pull one of my friends who I'm sure know. So shoot me a DM or post up in the group. I'd love to go live and do a second half an hour per week, just diving in, helping someone set up and implement those systems. Love to help each other. All right, guys, thank you guys so much for coming to the Lead Gen Underground. This elevator is going up. See you next week.
Peace. Thanks, Josh.
Later, buddy.